It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Thursday, the 28th of August. I'm Michael Groff. Storm chances taking the next few days off here in the valley thanks to drier southwesterly flow pushing our monsoon moisture off to the east. At the same time, thanks to that drier air, afternoon highs will surge back to slightly above average levels across the valley and over much of south central Arizona. But the drier and warmer weather may not last too long, evidence that monsoon moisture will return to the region, perhaps by Labor Day, bringing a chance of afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms back into the forecast. Of course, there's also some forecast uncertainty to talk about as we go deeper into next week, so we'll talk about all of that and so much more in just a moment. Hey everyone, it's Michael Groff here to talk to you about your roof. With all the extreme weather we have in Arizona, you need a name you can trust, and that's why you should call Blackstone Roofing Group for all of your roofing needs. Call for your free inspection today. Big or small, they do it all. Tile, shingle, or flat roofing, they can help. Offering free inspections and more. Roofing made easy. Call 602-536-9363 or visit blackstoneroufinggroup.com to schedule your free inspection today. And if you tell them Michael Groff sent you, they'll take $500 off the price of your roof replacement. Again, that's 602-536-9363 or blackstoneroufinggroup.com. All right, let's get into it here. The almanac from yesterday. 102 degrees the afternoon high, 79 was the morning low, 105 and 83 are the averages for this time of year. Taking a look outside right now, just after 10 a.m., we've got some high clouds out there right now, and we're sitting at 95 degrees at Sky Harbor. Dew point still up there at 60, relative humidity 32%. The winds are light, and the barometer is steady. Satellite picture out here across the southwest. We put this in motion, and you can see some interesting features on the board. First of all, a huge thunderstorm complex that blew up yesterday afternoon and last night across central Mexico, well south of us. We also have the remnant circulation of Juliet, what was Tropical Storm Juliet, now just a remnant low out there west of the Baja Spur. And lots of mid and high level moisture from that system has entered into Arizona. We can see all the high clouds out there right now. But for our part of the state, that's about all it's going to be. Now, some of the deeper tropical moisture from that feature is moving up into Southern California and parts of far southwest Arizona. And we could see some widely scattered showers and even a few claps of thunder out that way. But for us, it's not going to amount to much more than just some clouds. All right, the watch warning map. Yeah, you saw it on the satellite picture as well. There was a big thunderstorm complex last night across parts of Kansas, Oklahoma, moving into Missouri and northwest Arkansas. And so, yeah, heavy rain, flash flooding, still some flood advisories, flood warnings out there in some of those areas. Otherwise, things are relatively quiet across the nation right now. The convective outlook for today, a risk of severe storms over parts of the Plain States. In Arizona, things pretty quiet, some thunder possible in the southeastern part of the state. But I would also suggest we could see a few storms, again, over parts of Southern California and far southwest Arizona today and tonight. The tropics and the Atlantic Basin, just amazing. It's very, very quiet. This is August 28th. The peak of hurricane season, statistically speaking, is about the 10th of September. So we're nearing that time. And very often this time of year, yeah, the tropics are littered with at least tropical waves, if not some tropical storms or hurricanes, but we have nothing out there. Fernand is now off the board. That is nothing more than just a very weak circulation over the North Atlantic. Out in the Pacific, things are pretty quiet here too. Yeah, there's a tropical wave south of the Hawaiian Islands. Nothing's going to come of that. There's one off the Mexican coast, which some of our deterministic models have some very interesting solutions regarding down the road. But again, nothing to worry about there yet. And then there's the remnants of Juliet. And some of that moisture, again, headed up into Southern California and far southwest Arizona, and eventually further north from there, up into the Mojave Desert. But again, not going to be much of a factor in our weather, other than maybe holding down temperatures here thanks to some thicker clouds around. Here's the precipitation outlook valid through Thursday morning of next week from the WPC. Rain amounts in Phoenix, not much. Maybe a few hundredths, perhaps a tenth of an inch. Statewide, anywhere from 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch where you find the rain. You want to find heavier totals, go into parts of northern, northeast Mexico, southern New Mexico, and West Texas, Rain amounts could easily exceed 2 inches, but of course, you know what I'm going to tell you when we show you this graphic, your amount will vary. This represents an average of what we'll see across the area. So what's going on with this weather pattern in more detail? To figure that out right now, let's explore the models, see what's going on. This is the GFS. It's the 12Z run. This is valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. This is the upper look at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet off the ground. And it's kind of a stuck record. We still have this trough over the east that's bringing down some nice, cool, refreshing air. We have a big ridge that's still sitting across much of Canada and the northern tier states. We have an upper low that's off of the west coast and a little trough that's kind of nosed in here, and that's what's pushing the flow aloft more out of the southwest and bringing some of that moisture from Julia on up into parts of California and western Arizona. So what it all means for us when we put it together down at the surface for the rest of the day today, we'll call it a mix of sun and clouds in Phoenix with high temperatures topping out around 100 to 104 degrees. And all in all, that's pretty much in line with where we ought to be for this time of year. It'll still be somewhat muggy, but not as bad as we've seen the last few days. Widely scattered showers and some isolated thunderstorms will be possible to the west of us across parts of Southern California and western Arizona, moving further north with time. And as we look at our high-resolution guidance for today, this is the HRRR, our high-resolution rapid refresh model at 3 o'clock this afternoon, the simulated radar product. And at that time, yes, there will be a few showers and some storms rumbling about Southern California up into northwest Arizona. Say if you're on the 93, headed from Kingman up toward the Hoover Dam and ultimately toward Las Vegas, yeah, you might get some raindrops at that time on the I-40 and parts of the Colorado River Valley and into the Imperial Valley of Southern California. Yeah, maybe some rain. But around here, not much. There could be a few storms pop up over southeast Arizona as well, but in our part of the state, should basically be dry. All right, for tonight, partly cloudy, overnight lows in the upper 70s to mid 80s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny to partly cloudy, high temperatures again about 100 to 105 degrees. But as we head into the holiday weekend, this is Saturday, highs will start to warm up as ridging is slowly building back in from the south and east. So temperatures should recover back toward around 104 to 108 degrees. And we'll see that also on Sunday. Highs about 104 to 108. And there will be some widely scattered showers and thunderstorms that start to pop back up, maybe Saturday in the far eastern and southeast parts of the state. But Sunday looks like a slight increase in the number of showers and storms over there in the White Mountains and southeast Arizona. So if your holiday travels or your camping expeditions or your hiking or whatever it is you're doing across the state takes you into that part of the region, well, do keep in mind that, yes, you could run into at least some widely scattered thunderstorms, but nothing that's going to completely ruin the weekend by any means. Just these widely scattered, mainly afternoon and evening storms. But, of course, here in the valley, we'll stay fairly quiet, mostly sunny sky. Now, as we go to Labor Day, all right, things turn a little bit more interesting. The ridge is going to continue to build to the north and west. The flow aloft will gradually switch back out of the south and southeast. So, widely scattered showers and thunderstorms over the higher terrain will start to push toward the lower deserts late Monday afternoon and Monday evening, so we could catch a couple of storms here in the lower deserts. I'd still say the chance that we see anything in the valley is pretty small, but it's not zero. We'll bump those rain chances back up into the 10 to 20% bracket. The most likely outcome if storms occur would be gusty winds and blowing dust, but I suppose somebody could see some rain. And the number of storms will continue to increase as deeper southeasterly flow sets up. It sure looks like now the ridge is going to continue to build to the north and eventually set up north of Arizona, more of an east-southeasterly flow, so deeper monsoon moisture will come in. So we're going to increase the rain chances to about 30% by the time we get to Tuesday. Scattered afternoon and evening showers and storms will be possible. High temperatures will start to come down a little bit. Highs will settle back toward around 101 to 106. Might take a degree or two off those highs by Wednesday, with, again, scattered, mainly afternoon and evening showers and storms. Of course, if one day is active, the next day will be less so, but, you know, it's not going to be raining everywhere. It's not going to be a big thunderstorm outbreak, but we will see these chances of storms each day. The better chances, of course, over the higher terrain of northern and eastern Arizona, but some desert spots will get in on the action as well. Here's a week from today. This is Thursday, the 4th of September. Things are turning pretty interesting on this right now. A very impressive, very deep trough is setting up over the eastern half of the country. My goodness, that would be some cool air, fall-like air, relatively speaking, pushing all the way down toward the Gulf Coast again. I mean, this trough actually looks more impressive than the one that came in earlier this week. Now, on the other hand, we've got a pretty good amplified ridge out here across the west, north of Arizona. The flow aloft, again, still out of the east. So scattered showers and thunderstorms would continue. But what I'm interested in is a couple of things. One, evidence of some type of inverted trough or disturbance kind of backing its way toward southern Arizona at some point late next week, or even the potential of a backdoor surface front from this cold front that settles in across the plain states. You don't see that this time of year very often, but that is a possibility too. This is Friday the 5th. And yeah, the ridge is starting to weaken and upper heights are coming down. Cooler air aloft is coming in. And again, as mentioned, that inverted trough, maybe a little bit of cold air tries to sneak in. When I say cold air, cooler air aloft tries to sneak in thanks to that backdoor front. And the GFS paints in a scenario of pretty widespread storm coverage late on Friday of next week, especially Friday afternoon and Friday night. Just things blowing up here across the Southwest. Very active weather for the end of next week. Do I buy into this solution right now? No. But, we'll keep an eye on this. We're going to watch model trends. Earlier this week, the European was kind of advertising a solution somewhat similar to this. So we'll keep this in mind. It looks like right now the monsoon, for what it's worth, and I know it hasn't been much, but it has picked up a little bit over the past 10 days or so. For what it's worth, it may not be dead just yet. We may see at least more chances of storms as we go into next week. So that would be something. And of course, the biggest rains that we have seen in the valley, historically speaking, have sometimes occurred in the months of September and even October. So we're not necessarily done with rain just yet. We'll have to see how this plays out, though, because I guarantee you, things are going to change between now and then. This is out toward the end of the period here. This is 10 days out, Saturday the 6th. And at that point, it looks like a little short wave is going to come on through, and that might turn the winds more westerly, and that could start to dry us out. Although it may also at least briefly interact with the deeper moisture around here. We could have another day of showers and storms and maybe even a few strong storms. But again, this is, we're out here trudging into fantasy land, so who knows what's going to happen at that point. There is no way to tell. One thing is for sure, though, based upon model data anyway, it really does appear that temperatures are not going to get all that hot. We'll have a brief warm up toward 107, 108, maybe even 109 degrees this weekend and early next week, and then a clear downtrend in temperatures takes place thereafter, which I'm going to show you here off the guidance in just a moment. Looking at rainfall for Phoenix. This goes out through the 11th of September. This is off the GFS ensemble. The mean is pushing up toward a half an inch. European AI ensemble, pretty much the same story. Rather robust on precipitation chances again as we get into next week. So we could at least see some periods of active weather next week. Boy, I would love to see that. Maybe this monsoon, as much of a dud as it's been, perhaps it finishes strong. There's nothing wrong with some optimism, folks. I'm telling you. All right. Looking at temperatures off the national blend of models. Yes, it is going to be pretty hot this weekend. Highs are going above average. Keep in mind that the average high temperature in Phoenix, August 30th, 31st, the 1st of September, is 104 degrees. So we're going to be, a couple or a few degrees above average, but nothing record-breaking here. And then look at that. Highs trend down toward 100 degrees, maybe ultimately dipping below 100 with the increase in moisture and the fact that ridging will be breaking down. Those upper heights are going to be coming way down toward seasonal averages or maybe even below seasonal averages, so temperatures will do the same. And again, we'll take it. Taking this a step further, let's check out the Climate Prediction Center outlook, the CPC outlook for the 8 to 14 day period. This is September 4th through the 10th. if this is correct, temperatures across a good chunk of the nation will be favored toward below average levels. Here in Arizona, near to maybe slightly above average temperatures are in the probability there. Precipitation, though, above average. CPC outlook keeping us with above average precipitation during this period. And again, we'd love to see it. All right, that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you really enjoy what we do here, please consider supporting the channel. Click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. It's called a super thanks. That would really help us out. Or, of course, via PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is our PayPal address. It's groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal, or even our Venmo. That is linked up in the description down below. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org, and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Blogs, videos, everything that is Michelle related, very likely Adriana related. It is all linked up down in the description, so check it out. And our streaming station, that's also available 24/7, 365. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music and have a lot of fun with that, so give that a look and a listen. And something else I want you to listen to, required viewing if you're a fan of this channel. Check out Dan over there at the Courtroom Files YouTube channel, The Courtroom Files, or courtroomfiles.com for all your Courtroom Files merch. But I promote it because Dan is a good friend of mine. He's a wonderful dude. But also because tonight at 7:30 East, 4:30 p.m. Pacific, a special time, we will be doing a sidebar. Normally at 8 p.m. East, 5 p.m. Pacific, but tonight, 7:30 p.m. East, 4:30 Pacific time, for a very special sidebar. So that'll be tonight. All right? So check that out. I will be there. Dan will be there. Ashley will be there. Bailey will be there. If you don't know who those people are, you will if you tune in to Sidebar. If you don't know who I am, well, hi, my name is Michael Groff. I do weather here on this channel and stuff. All right. Now that we got the introductions out of the way, thank you so much for watching. All of your continued support, it is so greatly appreciated. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there, and have yourselves a beautiful rest of your Thursday.